Welcome everyone, it's Glenny at the Chilton Public Library here with you for another Restorative Yoga for Beginners routine. Today we are going to do the first sequence that they have in the back. It's called From Effort to Ease. So we'll be enjoying 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 postures today. Supported, cozy, relaxing postures where you're not efforting, you're easing. That's what this book is all about. That's what restorative yoga is all about. Why don't we, if you haven't gathered already, your equipment, a yoga mat, a bolster or 2, blankets rolled up on top of each other, a blanket roll, long and skinny, or a folded towel for your head, and a block or a big book. So that's what we're going to need for this today. I have that in the description down below. So hit pause right now if you need to go gather some things, perhaps light a candle, make your environment cozy and relaxing for you so that we can pause together and explore our helping our body find ease in these postures. So the first one we start with in all of these is Savasana or corpse pose, which is generally the last one that you experience during a yoga routine, a more traditional class. So let's scooch over. This is all about finding your way into a relaxation pose where you're supported. I have a blanket folded so that my legs and ankles are going to be soft and cushioned and cozy. So I'm not on a hard ground or cold. I have my socks on. You're going to want to be warm and fuzzy. Maybe if you're in a cooler room, you'll have a blanket that you put over yourself, because the whole purpose is to be cozy, warm, supportive, no pain, no discomfort. And if you feel it, adjust your position, back off, and explore what your body is asking you. So for this one, From Effort to Ease, we find our bolster under our knees, our heels on the cushion, and gradually maybe you come back onto your elbows and scooch yourself a little bit so that your knees stay on your bolster or your rolled up towels. And I today brought a pillow. You know those neck pillows? I happen to have a neck pillow. So I thought, okay, today I'll try a neck pillow. So explore your environment, explore your home for things that you can help use to support you in this practice. So here we are. Your palms are rolled out to the ceiling. Follow your breath as you gradually deepen your inhale and lengthen your exhale. Let's take a moment to take 5 nice full breaths together, where we inhale through the nose and exhale through your mouth. Inhaling through the nose, expanding the 3-dimensional ribcage breathing, and exhaling full expulsion of breath. I find taking 5 mindful, slow, deep breaths helps me settle and land and relax. This is a perfect time and place to do a body scan where we take our attention to the heels of your feet and feel them resting gently on the ground. We allow our toes to be free. On the tops of our feet, the skin on the tops of our feet all the way up towards our knees and shins is all soft and relaxed. Notice where your calves are touching and not touching, where they're supported and where they're not supported, and just melt and relax. Imagine your lower lumbar and feel what it's feeling right now, how it's touching the ground. Greet the ground with your next exhale, a nice heavy release of the lumbar into the supporting pressure of the ground there. Take your shoulder blades, press them down into your mat, gently lifting your chest, and then gradually re-greet the ground as your shoulder blades soften, spreading into the ground, relaxing. Feel the comforting weight of your head on the back of your head, wherever it's touching your blanket or your pillow or your towel. And just melt into the support of the coziness that's holding up your head. This particular posture they recommend in the book holding for 20 to 30 minutes or 5 to 30 minutes, but the longer you are here resting, think of it as a 30-minute mindful meditation. Where you can do a body scan, follow your breathing, noticing your thoughts. If they're skittering around, bring them back to the breath. Being fully present here now. So if you are wanting to do the full 30 minutes or 20 minutes here in Savasana, by all means, you can always hit pause on whatever you're watching this on and do that, and then resume whenever you're ready to resume. Right now, I encourage you to straighten your legs and flex your feet, toes towards your nose, and then circle your feet in one direction, and then circle them in the other direction, and relax them back to the ground. Slide your heel up to your bolster, first one, then the other. Roll onto a side and pause. Because whenever we go into these poses, we go in mindfully, slowly, methodically, and we also come out slowly and mindfully and methodically. And as you're ready, you can press your hand into the ground and come up. I like to come up between these different poses to come into your easy seated pose, Sukhasana, easy pose, where we just sit. You can sit with your eyes closed, or you can open them, gazing gently down, inhaling length from the base of the spine all the way up to the crown of your head, and exhaling, and just notice. Take a few breaths here. Noticing what you feel, and pausing before we gather our things and head into simple supported side bend, which we've done before. So I'm going to move this and leave your bolster and your foot blanket where they are, because what we're going to do is we are going to sort of find a nice mermaid, legs to one side of your bolster, long end on your hip. And you're going to gradually find your arm along the top of your bolster, palm up. I'm going to put this down. And then your head drapes over and is softly cushioned by, and see, I'm hanging, and I don't want to be hanging. So I'm going to fold my blanket up again and see if that helps me make contact. Much better. So take your legs long and straight, because we can do them long and straight, and then soften your knee, bend. Soften your knee to what's comfortable. And again, you want your hip to be touching, your side body is draped over your bolster or your rolled up blanket. You're adjusting and finding the place that feels supported to you. And then as you're ready, you can take your arm, inhale your top arm up to the sky, palm down towards the ground, and we drape our fingertips, touch your fingertips to the ground, and just find a way to be here now in this new place, breathing. Take your 5 breaths, deepening your inhale, lengthening your exhale. Finding a place of comfort to be here. You don't want anything pinching or hurting. Listen to your body, adjust your movement, your position if you're feeling any pinching or crunching anywhere. And this you can hold 3 to 5 minutes. All of the rest of the poses we're doing today are 3 to 5 minute holds. And for instance, I'm feeling like I need to inhale my arm up to the sky. And I'm going to reach my arm up, fingertips up to the sky, and then slide my scap back a little bit and explore my shoulder girdle. Reaching tall, sliding the scap back, reaching tall, maybe a circle one way with your shoulder, and then another way with your shoulder. Inhale tall, exhale your fingertips back over your head. If you stayed, that's great. I needed to move and adjust. And inhale your arm to the sky. Find your way up to a side place. Again, finding your way to the easy pose, allowing your body to regroup a little bit. Notice what you feel. And then, of course, after a couple of breaths here, we'll go into the other side. What's nice about leaving your setup there like that is you're already set up and you can come onto your all fours and simply head the other way. So again, we're simply going to go the other way. Your arm goes in the slot, the hole between the bolster and your blanket. Again, maybe take your legs long, one on top of the other, hip over hip, knee over knee, and find that length, and then soften, greet the ground, soft bend in the knee. Find a place where your head is supported. So if it's just hanging, you're going to want support, not hangingness. So I'm going to take my blanket, my pillow, or my blanket, so that I have a little more support. I want to be touching something. Palm up, your arm is long along the top of your bolster. And then pause, breathe, inhale your arm up to the sky. Maybe make a couple of those circles as we did earlier. And then the other way. And then inhale your fingertips up to the sky. Exhale, slide your scap back towards the ground. Inhale up, reach up, and then exhale, kind of hug your spine with your scap. Inhale up, and then we're going to take our fingertips all the way over our head, fingertips to the ground, and find your nice supported place where we relax here, breathing. Gradually allowing any resistance to melt. I apologize if you hear any creaking or crackling. It's the heating system, the ceiling is talking to us. Inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the nose. Reconnecting with your breath. Make sure you're not holding your breath. Easy, expansive breathing. And then as you're ready with your next inhale, take your arm up to the sky, down to your side and to the ground by your side, and lift yourself up. Find your way into your easy pose again. Check in. Pause. Inhaling length from the base of your spine all the way up from the crown of your head. Slightly slide your chin back a little bit. Tuck and slide it back. Tall spine. So we've stretched our side bodies. Our next pose is the grounding spinal twist. This is one of my favorites. So again, we come to the side mermaid pose, where we're like this. Maybe your knees are on top of each other, or no, they can be. Let's check. Let us check. His are not on top. You're finding, what's wonderful about this is you're finding hands on either side of your bolster. So before you even lie down, just play with where your knee, I'm going to do my knee parallel to the bottom of your bolster. You're facing your bolster, so you're going to be draping, and you're changing the orientation. You're going to be draping. Our bellies are going to drape. Your forearms are going to walk forward. So hug it in towards your hip. Inhale, and then belly towards the bolster. Take your arms and palms down. Find your forehead. This is where I find a eye pillow. If you have an eye pillow or a folded washcloth here on your forehead, that pressure can elicit a relaxation response very nicely. I would just take a few breaths here. Inhale. Exhale, melt into your bolster. And I'm going to turn my head. You can turn your head too and determine, do you like to have your vision go towards the way your knees are pointing? And we'll stay here for a few moments. Also, with your next inhale, take your forearms off the ground. Just hover them a little bit, and then lightly let them gently re-greet the ground. You don't want to be pushing and efforting and lifting into the ground, pressuring into the ground. You just want to have your body draped on the bolster or your blanket that's rolled up, and your palms and arms are just lightly there. Your nice full breathing, connecting with breath. And by spending 3 to 5 minutes here, breathing and noticing, you need that amount of time to gradually, it's not like you land and then boom, you're relaxed. It's a process. It takes time. We're busy, busy, busy all day long, and to expect ourselves to just sit down and now do relaxation and be relaxed is not how it works. It's taking the time for yourself to find your way slowly and mindfully into a position, to connect with it there through breath, to notice what you're feeling, and to allow the resistance that is in all of us to gradually melt. With each exhale, imagine your resistance just relaxing a little. Now, if you like, you can take your forehead back. If it's not forehead back, and then look the other way. Check how it looks the other way. Feel free to slide your forearms up forward or back to find a place that feels most relaxing for you. And then as you're ready, slide your hands back, push your way up slowly and carefully. Find your way back to your Sukhasana. This is a nice twist there that we had our lower back twisted nicely there, gently supported, torso supported. And then we can leave everything right there and go the other way. I'm going to flip mine only because I don't want to keep my back to you. But basically, we're going to take your mermaid, tuck the short end of your bolster towards your hip. Palms down, find the place where you're kind of able to find an easy rotational twist here before we even lower so that you're comfortable. And with your exhale, just gradually lower yourself down onto your bolster. This is, I think, my favorite one. One of my favorite ones for certain. You gradually deepen your inhale, lengthen your exhale. Perhaps lift your forearms and hands off of the ground gently, just to check in with yourself that you're not straining and pressuring and efforting into your forearms to support you. You're truly allowing the bolster to be your support. And again, if you'd like to turn your head and try looking the other way. As you're ready, gradually lift yourself up, walk your hands back, find your way into your easy pose, and pause, take a few breaths. As we then find our way into heart pose, which is a chest opener. Your heart shines, your shoulder blades are going to drape back around. Again, we have our bolster longitudinally on the mat, and we're going to find our way back. You take it to your base of your spine. Let's inhale length. Staff pose. Your hands can be on your knees or you can have them by your sides. Let's take them by your sides because what we're going to do is inhale up and then exhale. Actually bend your knees. I think it's going to be better to take your legs and knees hip distance apart. Walk your hands back and you're just gradually going to lower yourself back onto this can be a large sort of arch in your lower back here, which is an awesome thing if you're ready for it. But if you want to take your feet, knees bent, keep your knees bent, feet outside edges parallel to the outside edges of your mat, and then knees together. So your knees together, your feet out wide, and your palms are up by your side. Yeah. Moving a few things. There. So reach your fingertips long and then slide your elbows. Your elbows and the tops of your forearms are on the ground. Palms up. And this could be enough of a slight back bend stretch for a lot of people. I like it like this personally. One can also take your feet a little closer together and then gradually extend one leg, then the other. Notice how that feels, if that feels better to you, or if you prefer your knees bent. Adapt it, play around with it, and find a place where you can pause, breathe, and release. Oh, the lights just went out because I haven't moved around enough. Noticing and feeling your scaps relaxing, supported by the bolster. Perhaps imagine them sliding around the bolster, which then opens your clavicle area, your collarbones, spreading, heart shining. Breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. And if this feels like too much, you can always take a block or a book, I should have mentioned this sooner, to take your bolster up, put books or bolsters or something under a folded blanket under your bolster to elevate it. And that can be perfectly lovely too. Slide one heel, then the other up, or roll off. Because particularly if you're fully pregnant, you would want less of a stretch in that regard. So you could support with a pillow, you could elevate this, and you could be more supported and elevated and less stretchy, reachy. So play with that. That's our heart opening pose, heart pose. And then our next one is a supported forward fold. This I find very interesting. Let's see, supported forward fold, page 36. I love how this book is set up. There's the, they give you an introduction and they talk about restorative yoga. They then give you in the back sequences that you can play with. We're doing from effort to ease today. And then they reference you back to the posture earlier on in the book. So here we're going to need our bolster, and we're going to have it on our lap. We're also going to need one or two blocks. And if you don't have a block, you can use a couple of hardcover books. And we're going to put your legs forward, your bolster on top of your legs. Your block is going to go between your shins. And you're not necessarily going to be squeezing or efforting them. They're just there. If you need more, you could put another block here like this. And this is your, I like to hug it in a little bit. Give it a hug and a squeeze, and then exhale and just sort of curve and roll and forward fold. And take the backs of your hands, palms up, forehead to the mat. This is another place where, say, this is feeling too much. You could put a blanket here. This is all about providing support for yourself. Like maybe this is better. Yes, for me that's better. So we have a forward fold where we're just inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the nose. And we're supportive. So following the thread of your breath, relaxing. This posture supports and maintains your spine in normal, healthy flexion. It gently stretches your back muscles and hamstrings. They say here it can help relieve neck and jaw tension and headache, as well as encouraging inward contemplation and self-awareness. And again, the recommendation is 3 to 5 minutes. And then inhale, roll yourself up and rearrange. Our next one is going to be, let's see what the next one is. In from effort to ease. The next one is legs up the wall, which is something I do whenever I get home from work every day. If you've been on your feet all day or have been busy at your desk, wherever you are, what I like to do for this one is take your mat, and you're going to have the short end of your mat right up against the wall. So here we go. Boom. Just like this. Then you're going to take your hip, sit close to the wall on the edge of your mat, and you're just going to roll back and slide your, and if your legs get cold, you scoot yourself up so that your butt is right against the wall, your legs are up the wall. That's cold. So then you tuck your pants into you take care of yourself. You take your pants and tuck them into your socks. Make it cozy. And again, your arms are at a 45, palms up to the ground. This is a great place to check in with yourself. Like, look at the ceiling. Notice, where does your gaze fall? Is your gaze down towards your knees? Is your gaze way back behind you? Play around with your next inhale. Just see if you can find a place straight up overhead. And with your exhale, take your tummy to your spine, take your gaze to your knees. Inhale, look straight up. Exhale, look at your knees. Inhale, raising your gaze straight up. Exhale, look at your knees. And then relax and find the place where your gaze goes. In fact, close your eyes and pause. And this is a nice way to refresh your legs, your feet. Sort of giving the gravitational pull on your legs and feet all day long. It reverses that a little bit, allows your circulation to pattern interrupt, which is what all of these postures are, a pattern interrupt. Taking the time to pause, breathe, passively stretch. And notice what you're feeling. This one, 5 to 10 minutes is a wonderful way to do this. But again, just like any of these postures, if at any point you become uncomfortable, by all means, it's not about torture. It's about supporting yourself easefully into helping your body relax, relieve tension, and restore. You can also, I'm going to slide my heels down now. You can do the same. Take the soles of your feet together, and you can do butterfly at the wall. And then take your knees together. Drape your arms over your shins. Give yourself a hug. And breathe some more. Rocking your head back and forth. Explore that side to side. And then as you're ready, finding your way onto your side. And gently, slowly coming up. And finding your way back to your easy pose, which is not always so easy. Remembering when we come into our easy pose, perhaps it's easier if you sit on a bolster. Like if you find yourself in easy pose being crunched over and hunched over and not so easy, find a book or a pillow or a bolster, and you'll find that when you sit up higher, raising your hips, your legs, your knees just open right up. And that can be a very relaxing way. Once you have that support underneath you, if you're going to explore some meditation, this is a wonderful way to sit for meditation. So I hope you've enjoyed today's Restorative Yoga for Beginners sequence from Effort to Ease. We'll be doing, I think there's several, there's over 10, I think. And this is our third one we've done from Effort to Ease. Next week, we will perhaps do one called How Like a River, or maybe we'll do Inward Bound, or Nourish the Roots, or Back to Bliss. You'll notice as time passes that they're all very similar, little bit different, little tweaks. I'm looking forward to doing them. So I look forward to seeing you next time we do this, and enjoy your week. And remember every once in a while to take time for yourself, to pause, replenish, relax,